Hey, I really enjoy y'all both.
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Phil, you're one of the best baseball announcers in the country, and Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
See ya. D-Mac. Hold on, Matt Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown.
How about that Heisman, Mark Jones?
How do you like
Wide
that?
open again. All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Welcome into your studios here, halftime on a Tuesday on ESPN Arkansas. Phil Elson and Ty Richardson. It is a stunningly gorgeous day across the Natural State, climbing into the high 60s where my office studio is located. And it is a game day. Arkansas basketball in action tonight at Bud Walton Arena against Texas Southern. Maybe the most well-traveled team in all of Division I college basketball. Something to get into later on, but of course the big topic remains football for the next couple of weeks and really long after that as well, with a newly installed head coach coming up sometime within the next, still thinking about 3 weeks or so. And it's interesting when you look at where the perception of Arkansas athletics is compared to the perception of Arkansas football. And maybe sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of times these things just get meshed together, Ty. I mean, I feel like we've brought this up a few times. One of the things that is so heartbreaking about the fall of Arkansas football over the last decade, and really, over the last 5-6 years or so, is that the perception of the other things going on at the University of Arkansas, which also bleeds into the academics, whether that's right or wrong, is colored by the success of the football team, or lack thereof. I found, and this isn't just at Arkansas, it's at so many other places, and in positive and in negative ways. This gubernatorial election in Louisiana that took place a couple of days ago, and John Bel Edwards wins another term as the Louisiana governor. I'd seen some analysis, and I don't remember where this analysis came from, but it was political analysis that actually said that some Louisianans felt comfortable with the direction of the state because LSU beat Alabama. I mean, this was legitimately something I read in an analysis of the Louisiana governor's election. And maybe part of that is true. I mean, if the success or lack thereof in football colors the perception of so many other things on campus, can it really bleed over to the rest of the state into who you're going to vote for? I don't know if I believe that, but it does go to show that your perception of football does leave a trail that helps people, or maybe even people inside your own state, perceive what's going on in your state.
You're not a very superstitious person. You don't believe in a lot of the stuff aligning with particular games and instances, but it seems like, based on what you just said, some people of Louisiana decided they didn't want to disrupt the flow of their own government because it might affect the football program, which I don't know how it would.
Well, it's funny, too, because you could probably draw like some sort of line of succession between governor and head football coach. If the governor appoints those on the board of trustees do the hiring of the vice chancellor of athletics.
That's true.
The director of athletics hires the football coach. I was thinking about this earlier because remember we talked about, I guess it was like a couple of 3 months ago, how angry I was at the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah.
Because they just don't try to win. And you can't fire an owner. It's got to be up to the owner to either do something ridiculously stupid and be forced to sell, or sell the team finally. But and with college athletics, and this is such a major difference between the two, in a sea of major differences, who are you going to fire? I mean, you can fire the football coach. You can get rid of an athletic director. You can replace people on the board of trustees. Does it really all come down to the governor at the end?
It's apparently according to LSU fans. And Phil, I know we've talked about how it's weird that the football team is struggling, more than struggling. Some would say it's the worst it's ever been in the history of Arkansas football, and yet surrounding sports look like they're on the up and up or look like they're on a good path. And if you want to just break it down between the three major sports at Arkansas, football, basketball, and baseball, and where the jobs are in relation compared to other SEC schools and the public perception amongst college basketball, college baseball, and college football people. Because Arkansas, in terms of the college football job, is not anywhere close to where it is in baseball and basketball. And I compiled a list of rankings that we'll get into a bit, but I just think right off the bat, you'd say baseball and basketball, top 3, top 2 jobs in the conference.
Oh, yes.
You can't
absolutely.
say the same thing about football at all.
You know, I even made my own rudimentary lists here of the football, basketball, and baseball jobs 1 through 14. If you're following us on our video feed,
there you go.
I kind of left out 5 through 13 in basketball. I did put Alabama down at the bottom of basketball. I put Alabama 13th in baseball. Yet it's universally appreciated, understood, and known that this might not ever change. That Alabama is the best job, not just in the SEC for football, but in all of college football. And I've got Arkansas second best job in college basketball. I thought about Florida or Tennessee, but I put Arkansas ahead for a number of reasons. And baseball, I put Arkansas number 2 behind LSU. So it's flip-flopped in some ways. You know, you wouldn't put Georgia or LSU in anywhere, you know, amongst the top probably 8 or 9 jobs in basketball. That for me, they're the second and third best programs to work for as the head coach in football. So much of this goes to perhaps, you know, what sort of resources are dedicated to football, the facilities, the fan base, the expectations, the money, you know, where football ranks on campus. You know, that's why Kentucky, it's so low, and at Alabama, where they don't really care about any other sport, it's so high. So, I mean, but where did you find these rankings? Because you've got where Arkansas comes in amongst those who probably put a little bit more time into their rankings than I did.
So do you want to start football, basketball, or baseball?
Go with football first, since that's what we're really focusing on.
So Tom Fornelli of CBS Sports back in 2017 ranked Arkansas at 10th. Athlon Sports in 2019 had Arkansas at 9, and then Arkansas was 8 on ESPN.com in 2015. Those were the job articles that I read. And I think in terms of also when you think about just coaching atmosphere, the venue falls into that. As much as people like going to Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium, Phil, we know that it does not compare to Baum Stadium and Bud Walton Arena in terms of venues across this conference. It is similar to this job, middle of the pack, middle to the end when you come and stack it up to the venues. And it's not known outside of Greg McElroy. I can't think, and Mike Leach talking about Little Rock, but it wasn't Donald W. I can't think of former players, former coaches, current players, current coaches that have said that Donald W.'s Reynolds Razorback Stadium is the loudest venue they played in, because it's just not. It doesn't stack up to Bud Walton and Baum in terms of atmosphere and in terms of the venue itself, Phil.
You know, I have Arkansas as the 9th best job in SEC college football. And for a moment I had them 8th, but I put Carolina ahead of Arkansas because of, I think, partially the recruiting base. You know, you get there. I think there are more ready-made SEC football players in South Carolina, and then right across the state line in Georgia. Yes, you're battling against Clemson, you know, but that is a different league as far as the same players are concerned. But I've got Arkansas on the same level as Ole Miss amongst the baseball teams, and I think I would have put something like Georgia or Mississippi State as the number 9th team to work for in basketball. It'd be interesting what the listeners think, what our halftimers think. Where do you think Arkansas football ranks in job comparison to the others in the SEC? If you want to give us your thoughts on where they rank in basketball and baseball, and maybe why there's such a discrepancy, not just at Arkansas, but in a lot of the other venues across this conference in college sports, let us know. Cherokee Casino Hotline is open at 877-377-6963, and we will take your texts and calls up until 2 o'clock here on Halftime. People get a little bit upset when you say that Arkansas would be like in the bottom 4. I put Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Missouri, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt as the bottom 5 jobs in the SEC. You know, I mean, Ole Miss and Mississippi State have had more success than Arkansas of late, and let's be honest here, Missouri and Kentucky have as well. But Kentucky's a basketball school. Missouri's still a Big 12 school. Ole Miss and Mississippi State share Mississippi. So that, to me, makes the job already a little bit tougher than at Arkansas. And I wonder what our listeners think about that as we go throughout the show. Let us know. We'll be asking our guests the same question. Halftime is brought to you by Breeden RV in Van Buren, where the year-end clearance sale continues. Let them take the holiday stress away with a new or used RV. And they'll even let you pick your deal. You can pick either sales tax paid or no payments for 6 months. Maybe you want holiday cash back or more for your trade. Whatever works for you, that's the deal that you can pick. And every new RV comes with Breeden RV's exclusive free maintenance for life. Breeden RV in Van Buren and Alma Highway. BreedenRVs.com for more info. Come back with more halftime talk after this break on ESPN Arkansas.
A show that lives up to the hype. You're listening to Halftime. This is the Morning Rush.
You know, somebody actually texted into yesterday with a conspiracy that Jerry Jones is going to make sure that Urban Meyer is hired at Arkansas for 4 years. And then after 4 years, he's going to fire Jason Garrett at the Cowboys. And then he's going to make Urban Meyer the head coach of the Cowboys. And what's weird is I actually didn't totally think that was the craziest thing I've ever heard when it comes to conspiracies.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
This is Mark Hurst. Late fall and early winter are my favorite times of the year. High school football playoffs, time spent with my sons at deer camping in the duck blind, and the holiday season begins. November and December are also great times to take advantage of any remaining dental insurance benefits before the first of the year. Give us a call today at 474-1972 and let us help you maximize your remaining insurance benefits. Or if you don't have dental insurance, ask about our dental discount plan. Hurst Family Dental Care, a name you know and a name you can trust.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Save up to $2,700 or no interest for 5 years on a brand new Hot Springs hot tub from Burton Pools and Spas. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. The holiday sale is going on right now. Every hot tub in stock is on sale with over 60 luxury spas to choose from, and they start at just $26.95. Right now is the time. This includes delivery, cover, and startup chemicals. Stay warm and cozy this winter in your brand new hot spring spa from Burton Pools and Spas. It's the perfect gift for you and your family. And right now, up to $2,700 off or no interest for 5 years on a brand new Hot Springs hot tub. And as part of the holiday sale, check out the full line of Big Green eggs and accessories at Burton Pools and Spas. It's the holiday sale going on right now at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
Kevin Hickey Law has a great team of people who are dedicated to your legal cares. Kevin Hickey's law team is made up of experienced, caring individuals centered around divorce, child and custody, DHS matters, and more, serving the Fort Smith area and Northwest Arkansas. Make the right decision. Call Kevin Hickey Law at 479-434-2414, and for Northwest Arkansas, 479-802-6560, or the web at kevinhickeylaw.com, where our clients are our main priority from start to finish.
Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair is your one-stop shop for all repairs. Paintless Dent Repair, door dings, unsightly dents, and hail damage repair, all repaired to like new conditions. With over 1 million repaired vehicles with satisfied customers, Michael Littleton is the expert in paintless repair. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair, conveniently located 3 miles from the Arcoma exit off Highway 112. Or call 479-461-9764. your number one Arkansas fan.
Hi, it's David Neal with Road Chevrolet in Van Buren, where we are turning November into Yes-Vember. Come to Van Buren and see why Road Chevrolet is the place to buy your new vehicle. We have new 2019 Silverado Z71s with up to $13,000 off. That's over 25% off new Silverados. Only at Road Chevrolet in Van Buren. Visit roadchevy.com to see our full inventory. That's RHODES Chevy.com. Prices you'll love, people you can trust. Road Chevrolet in Van Buren. Find new roads.
See dealer for details. ESPN 95.3. Touchdown! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Joe, for the record, gets it from the corner. Isaiah with the three. That's his 103rd of the year, and he sets an Arkansas record for made three-point baskets in a season.
Arkansas, a 44-point underdog for Saturday's matchup with top-ranked LSU. The line had slipped just a little bit from when it opened on Sunday, but it's still an eye-opening number. And you should have been in on the text chain with me and Ty earlier. I was trying to figure out a way that you could push. You could do a double push. Money line more or less is at 71. I see a couple of books that have it at 70.5, and the line is 44. But you can't have a double push with an odd-numbered point line and an even-numbered point spread. But it would generally be something around a final score of like 56-12 or 58-14, something like that. This is legit. This is something that can happen. So you don't have the same head coach any longer, and it seemed pretty obvious, Ty, that Chad Morris was not very good at motivating this football team to just play hard after a while, to try to motivate themselves once they got pushed around a little bit. I mean, you saw it against Texas A&M, but would you say the Texas A&M game way back in late September was the last time you felt that Arkansas really gave a full 4 quarters effort? And maybe part of the reason is because, I mean, the last 4 games have been over by halftime, so how much effort you're going to give into the third and fourth. But it's been a minute since you felt that this team was coached up and coached to the point where they felt they could go out and really win a ball game.
Yeah, Hunter Yurchek addressed that he felt like in the Kentucky game that they just weren't prepared in the second half, and he touched on that. And I think you're exactly right, Phil. When you look at that Texas A&M game, they probably should have won that game. The defense gave them enough on the end. The offensive line just could not protect Ben Hicks down the stretch in that football game. And like every other Texas A&M game, it seems like since 2012, Arkansas comes up short by one way or another. And I think that it's frustrating. And I don't know how motivated they're going to be to go into Death Valley on Saturday night. I know that Bo Limmer and a couple of the younger guys are excited. They'll get their first game in Death Valley in this crowd against the number 1 team in the country. So, yes, you have that factor. But at the same time, you just lost your head coach. You're having to play a far superior football team. I don't know what their mindset is, because obviously we're not going to get to speak to the players at all this week. The media has been closed off. For those who don't know, Barry Lunny Jr. addressed in his press conference yesterday that he will not be letting the players talk to the media. So we don't really know where their head's at right now.
Well, I mean, Arkansas is going to lose this game, and it's not going to be close. So I think for a lot of fans, the question is, do you cover? Who's going to, whoever's putting money on it. The other questions are, who is your quarterback? How long will that quarterback play? And will there be any noticeable steps forward offensively from a team that, as bad as they've played defensively and been dominated, they've been even worse on the offensive side. So, I mean, my thought is you're going to see a heavy dose of KJ Jefferson, because why would you play anybody else by now? And Barry Lunny Jr. is being a little bit coy about it. I don't think he's fooling Ed Ogeron. But here's Barry Lunny on the starting quarterback situation.
At this point, do I think that holding our announcement of a starting quarterback is going to be a significant advantage for our opponent? No, it's not. At this point, we would be foolish, in my opinion, to declare that, to just clarify it for them so they can know exactly who they're preparing for and what they're preparing for. And so that's really the decision that I made, is just at this point, I just didn't see any justification for us to go ahead and declare that, but we know the direction we're going. And we're giving other guys the opportunity to compete because, I mean, it's a quirky game and it's football. And so you got to have a guy ready. We got guys ready, but we know the direction we're heading with that.
Phil, here's the noticeable difference from what Chad Morris has decided to do this season and what Barry Lundy Jr. has done in his first game as the interim head coach. He has come out and said they know who the starter is going to be, but they're not going to reveal it to the Arkansas media or LSU for that matter, so they can game plan around one guy. What Chad Morris did, and again, we don't know 100% throughout the season if he knew who the starter was heading up to that week, but, and again, I'm not going to be the guy that gives Barry Lundy Jr. all this credit and just keeps piling on Chad Morris because it seems like every Arkansas fan is doing that right now. But he did say that they know who the starter is. If Chad Morris truly did know in a couple of games this season who he was going to have start, he could have said, we know who the starter is going to be, we're just not going to reveal it. But again, he was wishy-washy. He would go back and forth. He had that weird exchange with Bob early on in the season. And I think that kind of irritated fans to a certain extent because he never it never felt like that he was sure of the quarterback situation. In this case, Lundy Jr. seems like he's sure of the quarterback. He's just not going to show his hand, which I can understand heading into this game because you need every advantage you can get.
Well, LSU has not had the best defensive season, and a lot of analysts just sort of picking apart their defense to try to make a case why LSU shouldn't be ranked ahead of Ohio State. And Ohio State has, the top scoring defense in the country, along with the top total defense in the country. And LSU is ranked 47th in total defense and 44th in scoring defense. So, these numbers eventually do mean something, I think, once you get down to the final poll. And I understand that if LSU, if all things go the way that they probably will, they're going to be in the top 4. But they want to be number 1. They want to be number 1. They want to be ahead of whoever's number 2. And Ohio State continues to make case week after week that they are so much better than everybody else that they've played. Still have Michigan on the schedule, and LSU, aside from Arkansas and Texas A&M, probably is going to face Georgia in an SEC championship game. So, I think that there's a lot of there's a lot of incentive for LSU to go out and still, go out and try to rub Arkansas's face in it as much as they possibly can. I know Grant Delpit hasn't practiced much of late. LSU did get run over a little bit by John Reese Plumlee, that freshman quarterback for Ole Miss, and looked bad in that ball game. But, Arkansas's offense has been as anemic as I've ever seen an offense for a long time. And part of it is because you never knew who the quarterback is. And it's like I'm saying here right now, who looks like the quarterback moving forward? If Nick Starkel's around for another season, does he even compete for the starting job next year? With as bad as he played this season, given another off season and given another spring semester and given another summer, do you let him? Does he really even compete for the top job with KJ Jefferson? And let's take John Stephen Jones and set him to the side a little bit, because this probably isn't the quarterback of the future for Arkansas. It is KJ Jefferson. I feel like I'd be surprised if Jefferson doesn't get the bulk of the snaps. I think he'll start. I think he'll play most of the game. But he wasn't great throwing the ball. Even against Western Kentucky, threw a pick 6, completed less than 50% of his passes. He can run, but the question is, how accurate is he? So, even with a new head coach who I think might motivate the team a little better, you still have the same coordinators, and you still have most of the same personnel. So things mostly are the same with the exception of the head coach right now. How much different of a result do you expect? Not much. That's
a good question. And 2 more LSU notes that I want to toss in there. Tom Murphy mentioned on the Morning Rush, Ed Ogeron is under the impression that KJ Jefferson is going to start. He talked about him in the press conference. So I think it's pretty understood that KJ is going to be the starter, even though that has not been publicly stated. Number 2, Michael Divinity, their best linebacker, is back in practice. His status is uncertain for the Arkansas game. But, Phil, what a misfortune. The guy that's been gone, I believe, the past 2 games, if he were to come back just in time for Arkansas to play. That would just be a real bummer if you're Arkansas Razorback offensive line and some of these other skill players are going to have to try and block and get around this guy.
877-377-6963, the Cherokee Casino hotline. Our resident Sooners fan in Spiro, Brett, says that Arkansas is the worst job in the SEC for a head coach in college football. He says part of it is the revolving door, that the reputation is right there now for him, and I think that's legitimate. You don't want to be seen as a continuous revolving door. It says expectations set forth by the administration and fans. I think you got to separate those. I think the administration had, and honestly here, the fans had legitimate expectations for like 4 wins, at least 4 wins. So it's not the expectations. It's the fact that the head coach that was just let go was just flat out making poor decision week after week after week. It wasn't about the expectations. It was about the lack of meeting pretty low expectations to begin with.
And I think we can draw back to our conversation in segment 1, speaking to Arkansas baseball. Another reason outside of the facilities and just the players that Arkansas is able to get, one of the great things about the Arkansas baseball job, Norm has been coach since the 70s, and then you move on to Dave.
1970, 71, goes right to Dave Van Horn.
You've had 2 coaches in 40-plus years of baseball, and when you have something like that, especially with the caliber of coaches that Norm DeBryan and Dave Van Horn are, what he's talking about, the revolving door, is simply not there for Arkansas baseball. It's been a seamless transition, and Brett, being an Oklahoma fan, is kind of seeing the same thing. You have Stoops since, I think, the 99 season, and then now you've moved on to Lincoln Riley, and it's been pretty seamless a transition there as it has been up in Ohio State with Urban Meyer to Ryan Day, Phil.
W. in Wick says, Sooner fans, shut up. We'd be happy with a 5-win season. I think he's right about that, and I like to get a little listener-on-listener argument going. Justin in Boonville says, put the revolving door thing to rest. Bielema was there for 5 years. Plenty of time for both coaches. Hey, look, the next coach is going to be the 6th coach in 14 years. That's a lot of coaches in a 14-year period. So there's a little bit of a revolving door going on there. Hey, we got a big giveaway going on, and you know you want to head to Branson during the holidays. And the Branson Convention and Visitors Bureau, hitthatline.com, and ESPN Arkansas have a great giveaway that gets you a multi-night stay, 3 nights at the Hilton Hotel, tickets to a Christmas show. You go to the North Pole Adventure, Shepherd of the Hills, a Christmas music Ferris wheel ride at the Track Family Fun Park, and a lot of Branson restaurant gift cards. All you got to do is enter at hitthatline.com. You can do it once per day, 21 years or older, and the last day to register is December 10th. It's at hitthatline.com for the Branson giveaway. We're going to talk with Nikki Chavanel from Rivals, so stay tuned on Halftime.
No hidden agendas on this program. You're listening to Halftime.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code. Lesson 42. This is how you say happy hour. It's happy hour. Let's go get some Bud Lights. That's it for today.
Brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light. Crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Shelter Insurance, we know landlords have to keep up with their renters, even if they're related.
Mom, Dad, what a surprise!
We just dropped by to pick up your
rent check. Oh, I'm running a little short this month.
Not everything works as smoothly as Shelter's renter's policy. It helps cover stuff in case of fire, theft, and more.
Maybe I should just move back home. Don't you love me?
Oh, of course.
But now your room's Dad's man cave.
Oh, man.
Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call me, Ted McAvoy in Van Buren.
In Fort Smith, call me, Jeff Clark.
It's football season and the right play is at Hertz Car Sales, 2810 Midland Boulevard. Their business is quality used cars at a great price with their #1 goal of passing the savings on to you. The latest makes and models, low mileage vehicles with an overall experience that can't be matched. Make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard today and find that there's no better way to buy your next vehicle. Call them today at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromhertz.com. Hertz Car Sales. What are you waiting for?
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging, the Xerox authorized agency and dealer in the River Valley. The 29 new models of Xerox business printers and copiers represent a quantum leap forward in office technology. They are designed for the way we work today, safely and securely. They're powered by Xerox Connect Key technology. They're innovative and affordable with both black and white and color devices available. For more information, give Dixie Digital a call at 783-6600 or visit us at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing Xerox document innovations to the River Valley.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man, fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com, a division of Quantum Property Services.
It's getting colder outside. Did you know you could save up to 60% on your heating bill by converting to safe, reliable natural gas from AOG? The savings can actually pay for your conversion cost. So why pay more to heat your home and water? The convenience and abundant supply of American-produced natural gas makes it the right choice. Call AOG or visit AOGC.com and switch to natural gas today. AOG, energy for life.
ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Time running down. Arkansas having trouble getting out. USC with the play. It's in! It's in! USC! Let's see. Can they play a count? It's all over. Arkansas has defeated Louisville. USC hitting from half court, and it's a 1-point incredible victory for the Razorbacks.
Take my hand and come with me because you look so fine.
Ty, you just got this comeback back into our rotation. I remember you pulled it out. That's right.
Threw him back in yesterday, man. It's I know we still got 2 more football games left, but it just seems like there's more hype around this basketball team right now, so I felt like I'd just go in accordance with what our fans are wanting to talk about and our listeners.
That's right. A little out with the old, in with the new, but we continue with somebody who's a little bit of both with us right now because Nikki Chavanel is young and still a little bit newish to the business in some ways, but then she's been with us for more than a year, and she definitely knows what she's talking about. And, Nikki, it's always great to have you on with us, covering all Arkansas athletics at Rivals. How's it going right now?
Well, thanks, first of all. I do think, I have a decent hold on what I'm talking about, but I bring my A game to you guys. I'm doing great, excited for more basketball tonight. Got NLI in this afternoon, so we're rolling.
Did you say there was an NLI that did roll in, or you're expecting one to come in, if I'm hearing your words correctly?
Yep, Devontae Davis just signed and sent it into the staff, so they're finally able to tag him on Twitter. Eric Musselman and the staff are putting out their little hype videos that they like to do, which are just kind of not well done, but I like the energy that they bring. You know what I'm saying?
So we got it. Speaking on basketball here, I get Saturday last week with Chris Moore announcing for Auburn. I don't know how much of a surprise that was because a lot of the services said that they thought he might end up going to Auburn. But was it Jalen Williams that was there with him? Ty, I know there was another one
yes.
of the supposed Fab Five that was there. Do you read into anything of Jalen being at Moore's announcement when he decides to go to Auburn, or is this just one good friend and teammate there to support another teammate?
So it was Devontae Davis that was there.
It was Davis, okay.
with Chris Moore at the signing, but it was Jalen Williams who took the official visit to Auburn at the same time that Chris Moore did. And I'm sure, it's a nice convenience factor to be able to go with your teammate. And after the visit there, Chris Moore said that they had talked about playing together, but Jalen Williams didn't say so much on that. So I still have Jalen Williams as an Arkansas lean. He spent his, 24 hours on the Hill. It was supposed to be 48, but he was feeling sick, so he went home. He immediately canceled his A&M official visit that he had coming up. So, I still have Arkansas as a favorite. Wouldn't be fully surprised if he did end up picking Auburn, but I do think that Arkansas has kind of made him the top priority. So if they weren't to land Jalen Williams, ooh, that would be a bad look. But Eric Musselman loves that transfer portal anyway, so he could probably find someone ready to contribute there anyways.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's so good at plumbing the depths of that transfer portal, but I think Williams would be such a big get just because of his size and the thought of him and Connor Vanover, potentially being a starting front court.
Both can shoot, too. That's nice. That's a luxury they could have.
Jason in Frankfurt wants to know about Kyrie Walker, the basketball recruit. I think he's still in Phoenix right now, but he's not. He's thinking about reclassifying. He might choose to play pro ball overseas, but do you have any thoughts or update about Kyrie Walker? Because Arkansas right now is only using, like a 7 or 8 player rotation. You could use somebody who's talented and get on the floor immediately as a guy who reclassifies.
Yeah, so he'd probably be taking minutes away from someone that's already playing, because Musselman said he likes to roll with fewer players anyways per game. Said he'd rather have a tired Isaiah Joe shooting than, someone else just to give away minutes. But on Kyrie, so it was a very strange situation with him. He left school, decided to finish up online classes to be able to enroll in the spring, but I think that's kind of up in the air, and he might still decide to go overseas. So there's still a lot of question marks around him, but I haven't heard a ton of active recruiting activity for him with Arkansas or with anyone else. So we'll just continue to wait and see on that, but they do have the spot. It's open if that ends up working out.
Talking with Nikki Chavanel on the Cherokee Casino Hotline. She covers hog football, basketball, baseball for Rivals. Nikki, you asked the question to Eric Musselman yesterday in the press conference about Reggie Chaney. I haven't gotten an email yet, but I'm just anticipating that Reggie Chaney's probably going to play tonight. Would you say that's correct?
Man, y'all are off your Twitter game. That broke about, I want to say an hour ago. Yeah.
Well, Mike hadn't sent an email. Jeez.
I got the email at like 11:43.
I lied. I got it, and I read it, and I guess I just looked over
I had
when I was prepping.
that story ready since yesterday, since he was all coy with us. He was like, we'll see how fast Mike can type up the release. I was like, well, he could just tell us now. But same deal. He's ready to play. That's what I had heard when he was ended. So it's going to be great to have a 6'8" guy out there.
So, obviously, Arkansas just got a recruit to sign today. I'm wondering, I heard Kevin ask Moses Moody if he was going to sign in the early signing period. He was unsure. We'll see what happens with Jalen Williams on Saturday, KK Robinson next week. Have you heard on any of these guys when it comes to possibly committing and signing early, or do you feel like they're going to wait until the actual signing period coming up?
The early signing period ends tomorrow. In that timeline, I do not expect Moody or Jalen because their decisions are after the signing period, I don't think any of them will be able to sign until April. And I don't think that's something to really worry about. A lot of kids just like to sign at their school with their teammates and stuff.
Nikki Chavanel from Rivals. So, Nikki, we were talking earlier in the show about what makes it so difficult.
Well, I think it all comes down to recruiting. When you break down how far away a lot of blue-chip recruits are for Arkansas, you have to work a lot harder, travel a lot more to get those guys. And when you're asking players, a lot of people don't know much about Fayetteville at all, don't have any initial interest in Arkansas. It's been a while since Arkansas has been a big-name school, so a lot of these young kids just don't really realize a lot of SEC schools recruit with.
So, you're saying recruiting is at the top of the list here, and I've heard some theories that one of the reasons why recruiting is so difficult at Arkansas, and that, small state, understood that, but that high school football in Arkansas no longer focuses on trying to dominate the line of scrimmage, and yet Arkansas plays in a line of scrimmage league. You've followed high school football awfully closely as you've been covering Arkansas these last couple of seasons. What's your thought on the style of Arkansas high school football damaging Arkansas Razorback football?
Yeah, I would say there's some kind of connection there. You just don't see a lot of well-developed offensive or defensive linemen. If you do see the naturally big kids, their footwork is often behind, their speed, their just, mechanics. A lot of that stuff you have to buy into them and know that it might be a few years before they actually play, and Arkansas just doesn't have that kind of time with these prospects. They need them to be more ready to play when they get them.
Got it. All right. Nikki, it was good to meet you last week, finally, for the first time. Hopefully it won't be another year until we're actually able to exchange words face-to-face.
Absolutely. You too, Phil.
You got it. All right, Nikki Chavanel, she'll join us next Tuesday here on Halftime. It's always a good conversation with her, and it's interesting to think about. Arkansas used to be a line of scrimmage team. You had good linemen coming up through the ranks in high school. It's been a minute. And the numbers that you have to restock on the offensive line, defensive line, and all of that, that goes into some of the reasoning here.
And I wonder, I can't remember who it was, but they told us that Chad Morris built from the outside in at Clemson, tried to do the same at Arkansas, and it just didn't seem like it worked. I feel like you have to start inside, trenches-wise, if you're going to be successful here.
Got a birthday later on today. Head coach Eric Musselman turns 55, and that's when Arkansas faces Texas Southern at the Bud. Give a preview next.
Missed a segment or interview? Check out the Halftime Pod at hitthatline.com.
When was the last time you looked forward to seeing the dentist? Well, if it's been a while or you haven't had the best of experience with dentistry, meet Marcy Van Ash McKinney in Family Dentistry. They take care of it all: crowns, bonding, dentures, bleaching, and cosmetic dentistry. They even offer oral consciousness sedation available for your comfort. That's Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry at 807 South 21st. Call for an appointment today, 494-7600. That's 494-7600.
The biggest discounts ever during the Black Friday sales event at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. 2019 Ford F-150 regular cab. The lowest price ever, only $19,999. 2019 Ford Escape slashed to $23,750. And the 2019 Ford F-150 four-wheel drive Super Cab, only $29,999. The biggest discounts ever during the Black Friday sales event at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Protection with possibilities. Have past losses made you cautious about taking on risk with your investments? Are you concerned that your savings are not generating the returns you need? If you are interested in protecting your money and capturing potential investment growth, contact Brad Lewis at United Financial Advisors at 242-7466 or ufadvisors.net to see whether market-linked CDs may be the right solution for you.
Securities and advisory service offered through Royal Alliance Associates, member FINRA, SIPC. United Financial Advisors is a marketing destination.
Deer season, duck season, and the holiday seasons are here. And Jelco Outdoors has all the gear and gift items for all the seasons. Firearms, footwear, archery, waterfowl, fishing, cold weather clothing, workwear, work boots, casual shoes and boots, hiking boots, and hundreds of great gift ideas for the holiday season. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors, your store for work and the great outdoors. 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
We did it again. Evans Body Shop has been voted the best independent collision repair shop in the River Valley for the second year in a row. None of it would have been possible without our top-notch crew and our customers, friends, and family that take their time to vote for us. We would like to say thank you. We are humbled by the continued loyalty and support from our community and staff and will continue to go above and beyond every day. Evans Body Shop, 412 Gordon Avenue, Van Buren. Come by today and see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Tired of all the broken promises and broken equipment at your current gym? The Fort Smith Athletic Club is the nicest and most well-equipped fitness and tennis club in the area, with a state-of-the-art fitness center, Pilates, fitness classes, personal and group training, and the best tennis facilities in the region. 7 outdoor courts, 5 indoor courts, plus pickleball and racquetball courts, and free child care is included. The Fort Smith Athletic Club. Call 452-4031 for membership information.
Do you hear that Coors Light being poured? It's the perfect temperature. How can I tell just based on the sound? I can't. But I can see that the mountain on the can is blue. And when the mountain is blue, your Coors Light is perfectly cold. Coors Light is cold lagered for a crisper taste, cold filtered for brightness and clarity, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. Doesn't that sound good? 2019 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Did you invest in real estate only to find out that real estate takes up too much of your time? If you answered yes, then it's time to make a call to the experts. With more than 30 years of combined property management experience and more than 16,000 units managed, Trinity Multifamily are the ones to call. Get your life back. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
ESPN 95.3.
Touchdown!
Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts, we're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Derek Hood, Kareem Reed, Pat Bradley, Lance Keeling. Senior night, a success.
It is game night on the Hill, and we've got you covered here on ESPN Arkansas with Arkansas and Texas Southern doing battle at Bud Walton Arena. Pregame 6:30. Chuck and Z on the call. Tip-off usually is, 2 minutes after the hour? So 7:02 tip-off with one undefeated team, Arkansas, and one winless team, Texas Southern. So you know why Texas Southern is winless, and this actually might be a decent basketball team under Johnny Jones. You remember him formerly as the head coach at LSU and pretty tight friend and compadre of one Eric Musselman. This is because Texas Southern plays a non-conference basketball schedule like Northern college baseball teams open their season by going on the road forever. They don't have their first home game until November 30th. By then, they'll probably be 0-5. It's pretty crazy, and they did the same thing last year. Texas Southern makes themselves over about like $800,000 in a study done by a writer at Watch Stadium. Guy's name is Andy Wittry. They'll make over $800,000 in guarantees for their travels this year. Wow. Made $85,000 for going to San Diego State, a game that they lost 77-42. They made $90,000 losing at Wichita State 69-63 to lose by 6 points in Wichita against the Shocks. That's the Shocks. And they're going to get paid $210,000 in a guarantee to be part of this tournament-less tournament that Arkansas is involved in for the next, 3 or 4 games. It's called the Collegiate Hoops Roadshow. So this is the sort of thing that gets them to schedule an extra game on the schedule. One more than the 29 the NCAA allots for you. If you're involved in one of these on-campus deals, then you can schedule 30, and that's why Arkansas is doing this. So they also have road games coming up at Northern Kentucky, at Montana, at Gonzaga, at Nevada, at Oregon. They won at Oregon last year. At Arizona State and at Texas A&M. They play 2 home games in the non-conference, Lamar and Concordia. So, to be honest, I don't know much else about Texas Southern. I read up on them a little bit. I'm just more interested in the fact that this is the sort of thing that a college baseball team from like Rhode Island does in February and March. But this is the way that Texas Southern funds their basketball program.
So there's a cool connection between Johnny Jones and Eric Musselman. Eric Musselman was on Johnny Jones's staff at first, and then when he went to Nevada, Johnny Jones was let go after LSU. He eventually became an Eric Musselman assistant coach. It's kind of a cool dynamic where one was the head coach at one time of each other, and then they flip-flopped a little bit, but there is that connection. I thought this quote was interesting from Muss in the press conference yesterday. He talked about how he wasn't really necessarily looking forward to playing one of his friends, Johnny Jones, and the schedule was made before he got here.
I'd prefer not to. A lot of the schedule is already done. We didn't schedule Texas Southern. We didn't schedule South Dakota because those guys are friends, and I would just prefer to play somebody else. The good thing is when you do play a friend, when the game is over, you're able to exchange ideas and thought processes and kind of gives us a view or from a lens of an opponent and what they're trying to take away from us. And certainly when we're done playing Coach Jones on Wednesday, we're going to share ideas with their staff for sure. And because certainly I want Coach Jones to win every game possible other than Tuesday night.
So that will be one of the unique things about tonight, Phil, is the fact that he's playing one of his friends, and then they can share ideas and get a little more in depth than he would just a regular run-of-the-mill coach that he plays.
So I mean, I see this with Mike Neighbors all the time. Arkansas women's basketball coach who coaches in the SEC against two great friends that he worked with on the same staff,
Blair
and Gary Blair, and Mississippi State, Vic Schaefer.
Okay.
You know, and he and Schaefer were assistants on the same staff. You know what makes this matchup with Jones and Musselman so interesting? One, Johnny Jones got Musselman essentially into college basketball coaching because he was going to take an assistant job under Flip Saunders with the T-Wolves, and he knows Saunders very well because he coached with his father previously, but took a call from Johnny Jones and went down to meet him for dinner with the athletic director, and they ended up making an offer that he couldn't refuse. That got Eric Musselman into college basketball. And the other thing is it's not just that Musselman worked for Johnny Jones at LSU, it's the other way around too, because Jones was an assistant for Musselman at Nevada. So, I mean, it's like the bench coach working for the manager, and eventually it flips. It's a really interesting happenstance, but I imagine this is also the sort of thing. I know that Eric Musselman doesn't like to coach against his friends. Well, you stay in college coaching long enough, and you're going to be coaching against your friends quite a bit.
Yeah, and I know that his daughter, I know it's Mariah, that's Eric and Danielle's daughter. I don't know the Johnny's daughter, but I know they're friends as well, so it seems like they have a pretty good relationship, and I would find that interesting. And I've never been in collegiate coaching, much less high school coaching or anything like that. I guess intramurals is the only thing I really coach, and going against your friends, it's definitely a unique perspective for sure, Phil. And I think everyone knows that Arkansas is going to win this basketball game tonight, but I think the degree of which they win or what happens tonight might be just loosened a little bit based on the fact that Johnny and Eric seem to be good friends.
Well, they've been outscored by 20 points a game, averaging 58, giving up 78. They don't shoot too well, 33% shooting from the field, 28.6% behind the three-point line. They're getting out-rebounded by almost 14 rebounds a game. But, again, I mean, this is against some pretty tough competition. San Diego State, Wichita State on the road. And now coming into Arkansas, a team that, as we know now, is one of only two teams in, the last 55 years to hold their first three opponents to fewer than 50 points. So I got to look it up. I should have had my stats up in front of me, but the Arkansas three-point defense is just like ridiculous. And maybe the stupidest thing about it is that Arkansas's three-point defense, as good as it is, still isn't even the number one three-point defense in college basketball.
Is that Virginia? Just going off a guess.
I don't remember if it was Virginia. For some reason, my web here is being a little bit slow, but I can usually access this stuff awfully quickly.
Well, Arkansas, if you look at, you talk about three-point defense, Phil, field goal percentage defense, efficiency on KenPom, they're third, turnover percentage and the turnovers they force, which they've done a really good job of that in half court, they're fourth. So their defense has just been tenacious, and I know that they haven't played exactly NBA potential caliber players, but it's a good sign early on that the defense is there. The offense hopefully will come with time as these players gel and as they play more and more together, but you can always rely on hard-nosed defense, and it seems like they've been able to do that so far, and they've been noticed by that. AP poll again this week gives them 3 receiving votes. They're not in the AP poll, but at least people are taking notice there, as well as Joe Lunardi, who's the bracketologist that most people know. He has Arkansas as the 39th at-large team of the 46 total in his latest bracketology. So right now, people are not exactly the highest on the Hogs, but they're at least noticing them to a certain extent where, hey, maybe this team could be NCAA tournament bound by conference tournament end.
I seem to remember a bowl prognosis or predictions of bowl games after the first week of the college football season.
Sports Illustrated, yeah.
Didn't one of them have Arkansas playing in a bowl game?
Yes, they did. They kept up with Arkansas a few weeks into the season, if I remember that correct. Now, that's obviously since been changed because mathematically Arkansas has no chance of getting to a bowl game, and it was pretty obvious from, about like week 2 or 3 that this team was not going bowling. So
Good thing you didn't try to cancel some vacation plans for the last week of December.
So
very, very good thing. By the way, Arkansas's three-point defense, they've given up 6 3-pointers on 58 attempts.
That sounds like Jalen Harris's percentage last year.
It might have actually been. I think his success percentage on threes was in single digits.
Which, by the way, he canned another 3 last game against Montana on Saturday. So this
is getting a lot of playing time though. I mean, Jim, it's just like Nikki mentioned. Muss leans heavily on the starters, really heavily on the starters. Even on a team where you've got another point guard who had a pretty decent season last year. Harris was only out there for, I think, a couple handfuls of minutes in the win against Montana. But he is averaging 21.7 minutes a game, so he certainly has been out there. He's just not starting. And, when Jimmy Witt is on and he plays really good defense and dishes nicely, and I think he gets the nod over Harris more than anything because of his ability to play defense.
And rebound, too. Again, Muss talked about how he's one of the best, if not the best, rebounding point guard in college basketball. That's one of the reasons they liked him so much. Phil, I'm curious how the rotation changes. As Nikki mentioned in the last segment, Reggie Chaney has been reinstated. How does that rotation fluctuate a little bit with the addition of him? Because now the scenario is it looks like there's going to be 8 guys instead of 7 because Ethan Anderson hasn't played, the last 2 games. So how does that change, I wonder, heading into tonight?
Right. College basketball, quite often, basketball overall is a positionless sport and sometimes, but Adriel Bailey has been playing the 5. Chaney is like the 5 for this team. If you're going to pick the one guy on this team that is your 5, it's Reggie Chaney. But Bailey's been playing fantastically. And by the way, did you see the video of Bailey leaping over Eric Musselman to dunk during practice?
Yeah.
He legitimately jumped over his head coach. Now, I mean, hey, it's not like he was leaping over Nolan Richardson. I think Nolan's a pretty tall gentleman. Muss is 5'7" and not growing anymore, even on his 55th birthday, which is today.
How many head coaches in college basketball would allow one of their players to jump over there and dunk? I don't know if there's many out there. So, again, Muss getting it done on social media, Phil.
877-377-6963 is the Cherokee Casino hotline. Where does Arkansas football job rank in comparison to the rest of the SEC? We want your calls and texts up to 2 o'clock. Halftime back for the second hour after the top of the hour.
We wish you happy holidays from Breeden RV in Van Buren, where the year-end clearance sale continues. The holidays can be stressful. Why not take that stress away with the newer used RV? We'll even jingle your bells by letting you pick your deal. Sales tax paid, no payments for 6 months, holiday cash back, more for your trade. You choose the deal that's best for you. Remember, every new RV comes with Breeden's exclusive free maintenance for life.
Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
Thanks, Eddie. Come see us on Alma Highway in Van Buren or visit us on the web at BreedenRV.com.
See dealer for details.
Always get more at Orr.
We always put the customer first at Orr Chevrolet in Fort Smith. Since 1924, the Orr family of dealerships has grown based on one simple principle. Give the customer more money for their trades and give them a lower price on their new vehicle. It's a simple concept, really, but one that very few dealers honor anymore. Hey, we know you paid a lot of money for your vehicle, and Orr Chevrolet wants to pay you the maximum amount for it today. Then we'll give you an awesome price on a new Chevrolet. But we're not done giving you more. Included with any new vehicle sold, Orr Chevy will also give you a lifetime powertrain warranty, 2 years of free maintenance, and free car washes for life. So come get a lower price and more money for your trade today at Orr Chevrolet on Auto Park Drive in Fort Smith and 24/7 at OrChevyFS.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You always get more at Orr.
Whether it's a car accident, storm damage, or a fire, when the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. In this moment, it doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is that your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them have you covered. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Call Kohler & Green Insurance in Fort Smith, 484-9888, and in Van Buren, 474-9888, and online at KohlerGreen.com.
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you are an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies tonight. An overnight low will drop down in the upper 30s to low 40s, clearing to sunshine on Tuesday, our high in the mid to upper 60s. Now Wednesday, we should see quite a bit of sunshine. A few late day showers could build in. Our high temperatures into the upper 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Good station. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bush and Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
Hey, guys, enjoy your show. Out of all the sports programs in the state, I really enjoy y'all's most.
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Phil, you're one of the best baseball announcers in the country, and Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
See ya, D-Mac. Hold on, Matt Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown. How about that Heisman, Mark Jones? How do you like it? Wide open again.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Second hour halftime. Phil Elson, Ty Richardson. We're taking you to the top of the hour. We'll be giving you some Hog news. We'll recap our picks from the weekend. Ty still trying to steal from me. He tried to steal one from me.
It's not intentional. I just misread. Of all, we've done this for what is this, the 10th or 11th week? Now, this is my first mess up of all the scores. Now you're just trying to placate a facade to try and give you sympathy from our listeners, the fact that you're getting your tail kicked right now in our bet.
Oh, it has nothing to do with the outcome of our picks, because I'm going to lose. I know that. I'm just saying you're interested. I don't know. Maybe before the season started, you had some sort of a spread of how many games you expected to beat me by, and you've got to make sure you meet it. So that's why I think you tried to pull one for me the other day. We've got Blake Lovell coming up later on in the hour. It looks like as Blake moved on to a different website, he's no longer at Southeast Hoops.
Yeah, he's writing for Clutch Points now, which is an up-and-coming website. He's covering college basketball for them. Hoping I've been talking to him as well as Aaron Torres and some other people about them coming for the Arkansas-Kentucky game. Blake's a really good guy. I'd like you to meet him. I had a great time doing the show with him in Nashville. He's a good dude, and as far as college basketball knowledge goes in the SEC, he's second to none in that category.
Well, and definitely want to bring up some stuff going on in Kentucky. Lose to Evansville. Have a close shave at home against Utah Valley State. Team's a little bit beat up. Maybe the transfer from, Bucknell, not as good as thought. So, yeah, well, that's another sign. We're moving over to basketball sometime very soon when we're bringing on a second guest in a 2-hour show. And it is mid-November, and it's all basketball with them, plus get off my lawn for the last segment of the hour. And your phone calls and texts, of course, always part of halftime. 877-377-6963, our Cherokee Casino hotline for a phone call or a text. Ben, who didn't tell me where he was located, asked we're talking Arkansas three-point defense, 6 out of 58. And I thought when I saw that number, I thought he was going to go 6 out of 58. I don't know. Is that good? He says, is that good defense or poor shooting? So, I mean, it's usually a mix of both with a percentage that is that low. But there's something about the way Arkansas defends the three. Eric Musselman preaching specific. He said he tries to model his players' defense after the way Pat Riley's teams close on the three. And I found it really interesting how, you'd think sometimes, usually incorrectly, that the son of a coach follows in his father's footsteps in the style of play that he wants, and that's not the case at all with Eric Musselman. He said that Bill Musselman used to tell his players, don't leave your feet. You never want to leave your feet on defense. But when it comes to three-point shooting, that's exactly what Eric Musselman wants his players to do. Not just to get a hand in the eyeballs, but to leap as high as you possibly can and make that a more difficult shot. So Arkansas, look, Mike Neighbors knows his stuff. He knows how to coach offense, but I know he knows how to coach defense too. He told the women's team, you got to watch how this men's team defends the three. he's not modeling them after Eric Musselman's club, but
yeah,
they're at all the home games they can be. Vice versa, I see the guys in the stands, all the women's games. So he wants them to pay attention and guard the 3 the way that the men's team guards the 3, and they did. They've been doing that too.
So I think it really there's a variety of different ways you can defend on a basketball court. We saw a different style under Mike Anderson in the press that forced a lot of turnovers. This basketball team has forced a lot of turnovers, not in full court pressure, but in half court pressure. You can do zone like Boeheim, Kentucky. Not Kentucky. Coach K and Duke have employed some zone at times, depending on their personnel. It's just a matter of limiting your opponent's baskets, and in this day and age, with the 3-point shot being so prevalent, the way you can do that, as long as you can stop it, people are going to be satisfied. In my high school, we were taught the high hand closeout, just kind of like you were talking about with Eric Musselman's dad, Bill. Like, we did not jump at shooters. We were taught to bend down and close up and stay still, but it's just what works, and different styles work for different coaches and different teams. And as long as the end result is what you want, then you should be okay with that. And so far, the end result is this team is playing as good as defense as teams like Virginia, teams like Texas Tech, and that's a good category to be in if you're Eric Musselman. Hopefully the offense will eventually come. Again, it takes time, chemistry, learning his sets, doing all that. The offense is going to take a lot longer than defense. You can always play defense. Offense just sometimes needs to click, or needs a little time to click, Phil.
And then sometimes it takes a little bit of time to click in your first month of NBA playing. Daniel Gafford, who hadn't really seen the floor very much for the Bulls over the first few weeks, had a massive night against the Bucks.
Be aggressive. And it helps with the... there you go. That's short and picked up like the other way. Looped it up. Gafford with it. Goes up. Drives. Left it short. Followed by Gafford. Good hustle. Goes up and scores again. Took that right at. Bob, and there's Gafford. Goes up and one-hands one through. Oh. 7 with Daniel Gafford in the game. And they're going to be plus more. George Hill let him play. Levine finds Gafford.
Phil, Daniel Gafford was awesome last night. 10 for 12 from the field, 21 points, 5 boards, 2 blocks, had a number of different dunks. The reason he was called up from the Windy City Bulls, which is their G League team, is because Luke Cornett, who's a former Vanderbilt Commodore, got injured, so he's hopefully going to see more playing time. As of last night, it looks like he's going to make the most of it, man.
So 21 points in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that good?
It's pretty good. They land. So if you watch the game or if you watch the highlights, they were running a lot of rim runners for him. Whether it's Colby White, I think Denzel Valentine had a lob, Zach LaVine had one. It just played to his strength, which is his athleticism, which I think some fans here at Arkansas were a little frustrated because it didn't seem like that he was getting that type of action, that type of rotation towards the rim at Arkansas. He was getting more post-up when his strength, Phil, is like that of, and I'm forgetting the center that plays for the Houston Rockets, but the reason he just runs to the rim along with James Harden. So we'll see. I think Jim Boland is the Chicago Bulls head coach. He had glorious things to say about Gafford last night. We'll see if he gets some more minutes down the stretch, especially as long as Cornett's out, and he seems like he'll be the guy that's in for Cornett for the time being.
Daniel had logged 11 minutes and had scored 0 points in his NBA career until yesterday.
Yeah.
So maybe that earns him a few more weeks up there with the big club instead of having to go down to Windy City.
I think some fans are hoping, because Bobby Portis, it seemed like there were tons of Bulls fans that kept the hashtag going, free Bobby Portis, because it seemed like every time he was inserted into the Bulls lineup or played significant amount of minutes, he would produce. We saw that from Daniel Gafford last night. I guess Bulls and both Razorback fans, too, are hoping that he continues to get these minutes because, obviously, if he's on the bench, he's not going to give you this production, Phil.
Drew and Harrison reminds you that it is Clint Capella, I think, is the center that you're talking about. Good stuff, Drew. So I guess that means I should read your previous text since you're giving us information here on halftime. He wants to know the name of someone who coaches as hard or with as much heart as Eric Musselman. He's skeptical of basketball since Vanover's deemed ineligible and there's no height to speak of. But he thinks the team plays hard, plays well together, and he is all in all caps, on the Muss Bus. So I have not seen a coach try to whoop up the crowd the way that I've seen Eric Musselman do. There's a difference between coaches that foot stomp all the time and bait officials all the time and those who are just truly intense. I don't think Eric Musselman is out there trying to make a show of himself. I don't think he's a look at me kind of a coach. I think he truly is as emotional as he comes off as in those games. I think he gets caught up in the moment.
I think there was a great quote from Mason Jones in the press conference after the Montana game. I forget the reporter who asked him about their free throw shooting, but he said when he came in as their coach, Eric Musselman was like, y'all sucked at this last year. He was just very blunt about that and everything. And it just seems like what Mason said also in the press conference is Muss is telling them the exact same things he is in practice as he would be on the court when there are thousands of people trying to listen to him. So I think players like that he's not necessarily two-faced, but he's doing the same things in practice as he would be in games. I would like that as a player, so it didn't seem like that he was either holding back or putting too much on me in practice or the games, Phil.
The year-end clearance sale continues right now at Breeden RV and Power Sports in Van Buren. They can take your holiday stress away by letting you pick your deal on a new or used RV. Either sales tax paid, no payments for 6 months, holiday cash back, or more for your trade. What deal works for you is the deal that works for Breeden. And every new RV comes with Breeden's exclusive free maintenance for life. Breeden RV, Van Buren, BreedenRVs.com for more info. 877-377-6963, the Cherokee Casino hotline. Halftime back right after this.
Shooters shoot. You're listening to Halftime.
What it's doing to me ain't a secret.
This is the Morning Rush.
You know, somebody actually texted into yesterday with a conspiracy that Jerry Jones is going to make sure that Urban Meyer is hired at Arkansas for 4 years, and then after 4 years, he's going to fire Jason Garrett at the Cowboys, and then he's going to make Urban Meyer the head coach of the Cowboys. And what's weird is I actually didn't totally think that was the craziest thing I've ever heard when it comes to conspiracies.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Full-time farmers, hobby farmers, and landowners, your time is important. Make the most out of that time with a brand new Branson tractor from Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith. With tractors from 19 to 105 horsepower, we have a tractor that will fit your needs. Ask Bush Machine and Tractor about their special financing options and free loader rebates. Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith is Arkansas's #1 Branson dealer. Check their inventory at bushtractor.com.
You always get more at Orr.
We always put the customer first at Orr Chevrolet in Fort Smith. Since 1924, the Orr family of dealerships has grown based on one simple principle. Give the customer more money for their trades and give them a lower price on their new vehicle. It's a simple concept, really, but one that very few dealers honor anymore. Hey, we know you paid a lot of money for your vehicle, and Orr Chevrolet wants to pay you the maximum amount for it today. Then we'll give you an awesome price on a new Chevrolet. But we're not done giving you more. Included with any new vehicle sold, Orr Chevy will also give you a lifetime powertrain warranty, 2 years of free maintenance, and free car washes for life. So come get a lower price and more money for your trade today at Orr Chevrolet on Auto Park Drive in Fort Smith and 24/7 at OrChevyFS.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You always get more at Orr.
The best TV experience in the nation is available locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Dish has the Hopper 3, the most advanced DVR, and delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recording anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now, WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or stop by our location at the corner of Phoenix and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, or visit us online at shopwownow.com. Get the Hopper 3 today by calling WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474. Or online at shopwownow.com.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Turn November into Yes-Vember at Road Chevrolet in Van Buren. Hi, everyone. David Neal here inviting you to come see our best inventory yet. It's Black Friday all month long with savings up to $13,000 on a new 2019 Silverado Z71. That's over 25% off. We have new Chevrolet Blazers with up to $6,000 off. When it comes time to find your new vehicle, visit us at Road Chevrolet in Van Buren, exit 2A off of I-540. We have prices you'll love and people you can trust. Road Chevrolet, find new roads.
See dealer for details.
Eagle Crest Golf Course is open, and winter rates are now in effect. Just $35 to enjoy Eagle Crest Golf Course, card included. Winter rates are back, and Eagle Crest is ready for you. Lush zoysia fairways, beautiful bent grass greens, and the best views in the River Valley. Just $35, card included. So get your golf buddies together and head to Eagle Crest Golf Course. Winter rates just $35. Eagle Crest Golf Course, Highway 64, just east of Alma.
ESPN 95.3. Touchdown! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Listen to the crowd as they cheer Sidney Moncrief. Eddie Sutton and Moncrief on the sideline as Sidney will get a standing ovation here as he wraps up a great home career.
We are taking you up until 2 o'clock on Halftime. Phil Elson and Ty Richardson. We want your calls and your texts. Cherokee Casino Hotline remains open for you with the exception of our upcoming segment, not the one we're in now, but the one after that. Blake Lovell joining us to talk some SEC hoops, college basketball, in about 15 minutes, and we'll close down with Get Off My Lawn. You got to get off my lawn. We'll take them. We'll take them up until the top of the hour. 877-377-6963 is the Cherokee Casino hotline. Doug in Little Rock says on that hotline, he says, Les Miles is the Eric Musselman in football. What are the odds of getting him here? None. I don't think he's coming to Arkansas. I'm not quite sure what the comparison is between Les Miles and Eric Musselman. Is it the intensity? Is it the passion that we were just talking about? Is it the ability to game plan and scout an opponent? I'm not quite sure, because if you're looking at an LSU coach that is emotional and gets these guys ready to play, and not to say Les Miles didn't, I think of Eddie O. I think of Ogeron and his ability to motivate a team. Game planning, stuff like that, I'm not sure, and maybe in terms of ability to recruit, because that's one thing Miles did well, but I'm not sure if I see the comparison between Les Miles and Eric Musselman. Do you, Ty?
I don't see it. I mean, that's pretty simple, but I don't know. Doug replies in terms of getting Les Miles as our head football. I mean, what's the correlation? What's the connection in terms of Les is? I've never known Les to be a. I guess the animated. I mean, you can point to the animated stuff, the social media stuff, players like him. Seems like, I guess.
Well, I mean, he does eat the football field. I think Musselman, he's a guy that breathes, eats basketball. I think he'd eat a chunk of the basketball court if you forced him to.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to compare coaches. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's hard. I don't see that connection. I don't know if there's one out there that makes more sense comparing Musselman. If you're talking about just what he's accomplished, Les has accomplished far more than Eric because of that national championship that he won in 2007 with LSU, but I just don't see it, Phil. That's honestly.
David in Clarksville asks, which of the candidates that we discuss almost daily, and I will say this, we haven't tossed around more than one name as far as the coaching search is concerned today. So we've been good on that. He wants to know which unifies the fan base most to be the football coach.
That's a good question.
Well, and I don't really know, at first I see there are coaches that could divide the fan base very quickly. Gus Malzahn, I think one. Bobby Petrino another. And look, I don't think Petrino is a true candidate here. I don't think he's even going to get a look. But that's the kind of coach that would, I think, start off by dividing, Hugh Freeze, that sort of coach. Whatever coach comes in that has the right credentials, they're going to get time unless they're foolish, unless they coach like idiots for a couple of years and are obviously not the right guy for the job. I think that the fan base does unify based upon somebody new that they're willing to give a chance to, and then we'll see if the unification continues or solidifies like 3 years in, if the football program has been turned around. Otherwise, there's no unification.
I think what it boils down to is, who do you think would be the most liked hire in that? And I'm talking about reasonable, realistic hires, because if it was like Urban Meyer, Bob Stoops, or someone that you could legitimately get, which again is not the case in terms of those guys, then instantly you're hooked, because Bob Stoops has won a national championship, Urban Meyer's won a couple, and you're instantly interested. If you're an Arkansas fan and their not really Bob's transgression, but Urban's transgressions, they're thrown out the window. All these Arkansas fans that were chirping about Urban Meyer and Ohio State and Zach Smith instantly goes away if he's hired the Arkansas coach. But again, that's not going to happen. I just think it's Leach. I feel like what he was able to do in Pullman, Washington, and Lubbock, Texas, that style, he's likable. He has those interesting quotes. I don't know if he would be the best candidate, but in terms of a candidate that I think most people would be satisfied and happy with, it's Mike Leach for me, Phil. What about you?
Adam in Central Arkansas wants to know if there's a reasonable chance for Barry Lundy to get the head coaching job, and I don't think that there is at all. I think it's a very difficult line to draw from special teams tight end coach to full-time head coach over the course of a 3-week or 4-week period. And going to interim head coach is a totally different thing. I just don't – I think maybe Barry Lundy Jr. has what it takes to be a head coach in the future, but his first head coaching job is not going to be at the University of Arkansas.
And the first connection, the first example that people point to is Dabo Sweeney at Clemson, who was a former, not even coordinator, a wide receivers coach. He takes over for, why am I forgetting? I think it's Terry Bowden who he took over for.
Correct.
And then eventually gets past kind of the lull years, brings in Chad Morris, and they go off, and they're now one of the elite, if not the most elite program in college football. People point to that. That's one example. You could probably list out hundreds of others that did not pan out. So, and again, you know what people point to, Phil? Barry Lundy Jr. played at Arkansas, coached at Arkansas guy.
That's
Arkansas
why
bred.
He's the interim coach.
Yeah. And
that's the reason he's the interim coach.
But that's why you're going to have some people come to his aid. And listen, if he somehow, some way makes this game competitive against LSU and they beat Missouri, he at least has a sliver of a chance, and it might be more than a sliver. But I think right now there's no reason to believe that he should be a candidate for this job. And that might be something that people up in Bentonville, here in Fort Smith, they don't necessarily agree with because he has ties to those areas. But I just don't think you can realistically look at him if you're Hunter Yurachek unless something insane happens in these next two stretch of games, Phil.
Rashad in North Little Rock thinks Mike Leach would unify the fan base. He doesn't think Lane Kiffin would. So the thing with Leach is, if he were to be hired, then there would be this massive explosion of excitement from fans because of the idea that his offenses usually put up a lot of points, plays an exciting brand of football, is a total wild card in the things that he says and in the way that he coaches, and the track record of winning at outposts, in two different leagues. But then when the dust settles, the questions do remain. Does the air raid work in the SEC? Does that work here?
You can narrow it down to Arkansas, because if you look at these football teams, even in the Bobby Petrino era, you can talk about Dennis Johnson, Nile Davis. I mean, they had a strong running game even in those seasons. Houston Dale Nutt had some good. I mean, we know what he did with Darren McFadden, Felix Jones. You can even talk about with Clint Stern. I know he was throwing the ball a lot, but they had some good running backs when he was playing. Traditionally, this football program has been at its best when they have good trench play and a good, strong running game. You would be going completely completely opposite of that if Mike Leach were to come in as the head coach, Phil.
877-377-6963 is the Cherokee Casino hotline. We'll take your calls and texts up until 2 o'clock. Rashad says the air raid already worked with Kentucky. And, it did work, but to a point, and that also was a long time ago. I think it's a different league than it was back then. So do you look at success from 1998, 1999, and say, well, that's going to work here, as the head coach? So, look, Rashad, I think Mike Leach's track record of winning in Pullman and winning in Lubbock, at consistently good levels and occasionally a very high level of winning, I think that those wins stand for themselves. But I'm telling you, that question will be asked, and also the thought of what is Leach's age right now? Is he in his early 60s?
I think he's 59.
59?
If I remember reading that right.
Age isn't a factor in that case. I don't think at all. Drew and Harrison says if he brings proven coordinators and keeps Lunny on staff, and I think it takes pressure off him with the stars around him. I think he's talking about Lane Kiffin. He thinks that you'll get good coordinators and high-level recruiting with one Lane Kiffin. I don't know if Kiffin at first would be a coach that would divide the fan base. It's been a while since the exit from Alabama, and it was noticeable they weren't as good with him not calling the plays in the national championship. What was that, 3 years ago?
That was Jalen Hurts' freshman year.
Right. So. Yeah. I think that could be the sort of hire that people give a chance to. Give the sort of chance that a coach needs, with the understanding that this is going to take a long time to turn around. I'm talking 3-4 years before you're really starting to see, the wins that you would like to see come around. And you are starting from the bottom, working your way up, and it's going to take a lot of time to claw yourself to the middle. You're going to have to be a very, very patient person. Let's see. Shane and Dirk says that he may be wrong, but when Eddie O took over, I thought all the big sports guys thought it wouldn't work out. Just never know if Lunny could or not. Just a thought. Thanks. But Eddie O also had been a head coach at a different stop. Hadn't gone well at Ole Miss, but it's such a bigger position. Plus, that was a coordinator moving up to that position at that time.
And a former head coach who had at least a little bit. It wasn't a great track record, but at least he had some track record to that point, Phil.
877-377-6963, the Cherokee Casino hotline. See this shirt I've got on here? Well, if you're listening in the car, you could see it if you do pull over and find a way to get on our live video streams. Ty, where are we on video?
Facebook, YouTube, Periscope on Twitter. We're all over the place. You can listen online, hitthatline.com, or on our 3 different affiliates on ESPN Arkansas.
Well, sounds good. It's radio, but you can see us too. Just a few ways to do it. Talking college basketball with Blake Lovell after the break.
When in doubt, expense it. You're listening to Halftime.
Right now at Randall Ford, get 0% for 72 months on a new 2019 Ford F-150, plus $1,000 special retail bonus cash. But that's not all. How about up to $13,000 off MSRP? Or how about only $299 a month? That's it. Just $299 a month for a brand new 2019 Ford EcoSport. Only from Randall Ford, America's 4th oldest Ford dealer. Stop in today. Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers, or online at randallford.com. Home of the lowest price guarantee.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man, fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com, a division of Quantum Property Services.
Right now, I'm holding a perfectly ice-cold Coors Light. You know how I know it's the perfect temperature? Because the mountain on the can is blue. And also, it's really cold. Every Coors Light is cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged. Notice how many times I said cold? 3 times. It's that cold. So make sure the mountain on your can of Coors Light is blue, because that means it's ready to enjoy. 2019 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Fall is here, and at Frank Pro Furniture in November, now is the time to buy. Come in and take advantage of our many made-in-the-USA products. Lift chairs, we have them. Sectionals, reclining sofas, and loves, we have them. Bedroom furniture and mattresses, we have them. We also carry a variety of appliances and TVs. In November, come in and receive 10% off on any purchase. Ask us about our financing programs. We have several options that will meet your needs. Only at Frank Row Furniture. Best seats in the house.
If you have experience transporting frozen and refrigerated goods and want to be part of a trucking family with insurance and be home every week, you need to contact Brent Higgins Trucking. Since 1997, Brent Higgins Trucking in Mulberry has been proudly delivering to and from various areas of the United States, including but not limited to Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Brent Higgins Trucking, where you're a name, not a number. Contact them at 479-997-2366 or at BrentHigginsTrucking.com.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
At the horn from the other end, no good, and Arkansas wins it. The Razorbacks win it by 2 tonight in College Station, down to the wire, and Arkansas comes out of here with a victory.
Arkansas looking to come out with another victory later tonight against Texas Southern. Hogs entering this ball game 3-0. We've got you covered at 6:30 with the Learfield IMG pregame show and tip-off 7 o'clock. Chuck Barrett, Coach Z on the call. We'll talk a little bit about that and other things going on in SEC basketball with our friend Blake Lovell, who is now covering SEC and college basketball for the Clutch Points app. Blake, it's been a while since we spoke with you. Tell us about Clutch Points. This is something new I'd not heard of.
Yeah, no, doing that there now, guys, and it's just sort of said it's a big company out of Los Angeles that covers a lot of different sports. They decided to add college basketball before the season started, and so yeah, just getting adjusted to all that and trying to provide some good basketball coverage there.
Very good. So you continue to do what you're very, very good at. So let's you push a panic button on Kentucky at all? Home loss to Evansville, close shave against Utah Valley. Team is struggling to shoot, struggling to defend at times. What have you seen from Kentucky the last couple of games that might put Kentucky fans on notice?
Yeah, Kentucky's got some issues. I think it's like you said, they're not shooting it well. I think they're 340 plus from three-point range. I think they're shooting 21.3% this year. That's obviously not good, and that's one of the questions we always have with them, it seems like, is their perimeter shooting. And certainly we've seen that this year. They've had injury situations. That they're not. Their defense has been good at times, but it's not maybe to that overwhelming point that we've seen them, use their size and athleticism and all that they're still giving up some easy baskets that normally they shouldn't. But as I always say, it's November, and I think at this point we have to give John Calipari the benefit of the doubt that he's going to get it figured out. They're going to hit their sort of, stretch that they always do, probably in February where they reel off a lot of wins. They'll get it figured out. They're still young, and while there are some obvious issues early, I think we've said that pretty much about the majority of his Kentucky teams really over the years.
It's funny, too, because you say it's November. The whole idea of half a shaker full of salt this month. But it's so difficult to jibe the idea with a team that beats the consensus number one team in the country. I think it's understood start of the year. I didn't read any other reports that said that Michigan State was not the number one team in the country. And then, 3 games later, to lay an egg at home against Evansville, I just think it's really difficult for fans to jibe with that. But I guess, that goes along with this crazy sport, which is as unpredictable as any sport in college athletics in the month of November.
Yeah, no, that's the way it is. I mean, it's something where, look, it's a situation where college basketball, we say it every year. You know, it's so fun. We can overreact to the first couple weeks because we're so excited that it's finally back and all that. And it's just like you still look ahead and you're like, well, these guys still got 30 games left. And it's like, you know, that's why I hesitate on teams like Kentucky and Florida. You know, obviously the Gators have their own issues. But it's sort of the randomness of college basketball sometimes. It's just you have these teams, you know, not a lot of people knew about Evansville. Not a lot of people know about a lot of these mid-major teams and sort of understand that while, yes, that they're mid-major teams, they still have quality talent on their roster. And anytime, you know, you put this quality talent on the floor, if everything goes right, you know, you can win these types of games. And it was one of those games, and I said this to people, it's almost surprising Kentucky hadn't lost a game like that in November throughout Cal's era there because, I mean, they have been so young, and they have, you know, the chemistry issues and the shooting issues and all that. It was almost like they were bound to lose one of these eventually, and sure enough, it was sort of the perfect storm against the Purple Aces there.
Talking with Blake Lovell, Clutch Points college basketball coverage here on Halftime on the Cherokee Casino Hotline. Blake, Chris Moore out of West Memphis, he surprised a lot of different people committing to Auburn over Memphis and Arkansas. In West Memphis, you don't know, is right next to Memphis, like a 5 or 10 minute drive. And it was just interesting. I had a conversation with my boss last week, and he just talked about what it feels like when Bruce Pearl walks into a room and just kind of the auras that surrounds him. How good of a recruiter is Bruce Pearl when it comes to the college basketball circuit, Blake?
Well, I mean, I think, like you say, I mean, it's just there's maybe a handful of guys in college basketball, and I'd even say you can probably put Bruce Pearl right at the top when it comes to just a unique personality and a unique ability to connect with players, I think. And I also feel like we can't ignore their style of play either. If I'm a recruit sitting around at home watching TV and I watch teams play, you just watch how Auburn plays. And it hasn't changed since Bruce Pearl's been there. It hasn't changed with any of the teams really he's ever had. I mean, they just play sort of such a fun, entertaining style to where if you're a player and you feel like you want to get your opportunity, you look at the way they play and it's like, I can't ignore that. And I want to be a part of that. It's just that infectious sort of personality that he has and just the way they play. It's allowed him, the opportunity to get all these kinds of players. And it's going to be that way as long as he's there. It's just a situation where, he's built up the success to this point. The Final Four run just added on to, I think, what a lot of people already knew in terms of he's a really good coach, and he has been going back to his days in Milwaukee. I mean, it's just we've always known this. We know what he did at Tennessee, what he's been able to build at Auburn. It's just a case of, look, I mean, his personality plus just a really, really fun way of playing basketball, and you put all that together, and that's just going to continue to kind of keep things rolling there for him at Auburn.
But Blake, with what has gone on at Auburn with the bribery scandal, I guess is the right way to put it in some ways, and what's followed Bruce Pearl throughout his career, whether right or wrong, great coach, but there's always going to be that but, at the end of the sentence when you're talking about him.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's something, that we'll see. You talk about with his situation, every situation is different, but anyone that's been linked to any of this stuff, anyone that's had, violations in the past, it's never going to change. People just aren't going to forget that. And anyone who wants to be able, to find a flaw with what a certain coach or what a team's doing, they will. So they'll have that to go back to, and that's sort of something that follows you around throughout your entire career, no matter what you do. And like we said, even getting to the Final Four last year, it doesn't matter. It's just that's going to ramp up some of these things. Like you said, right or wrong, that's something people are going to talk about. That's sort of the era that we live in with social media and all that types of stuff. We know everything, and anything that happens when it comes to this type of stuff, we're always going to know what it is. And so, yeah, that's a problem, and, it's something that, like you said, no matter how many wins they get, if they get back to the Final Four again this year, people are still going to bring it up.
Blake, I want to ask you about the Arkansas basketball job. We opened the show comparing the football program, where it ranks as a job in the SEC compared to baseball and basketball. baseball and basketball at Arkansas are far ahead of the football program. In 2019, with Eric Musselman, where he has his program right now, what it looks like is going to happen, regardless if you're on the fence or not, where do you think the Arkansas basketball program ranks in the SEC in a minute or less?
Well, I mean, I think, Ty, we've talked about it before. I think it's a situation where you can legitimately say it's a top 3 job in the SEC. I mean, it has been, it continues to be. I don't really, see any difference in that when you compare sort of just the tradition of the program, the atmosphere that's there, all the different things that go into this. If you look around, you're going to see Kentucky 1, you're going to see Florida 2, and then for my money, it's probably Arkansas 3. And I don't know that it's changed all that much over the years when you consider all that. Knowing, again, the type of fan base, the atmosphere there, and just comparing it to other SEC jobs, it's not a Kentucky, it's not a Florida, I don't think, to that extent, but it's right there behind them. And I don't know that there's anywhere else in the SEC that is on that exact same level as Arkansas. So you could pick a Tennessee or whoever else, LSU, behind them. But I still, for me, I'm still going to put Arkansas third in that order.
Blake, you're awesome at what you do. We're excited about moving on from football into basketball for obvious reasons, and appreciate your talking with us and look forward to doing it again.
Always enjoy it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Blake Lovell, he's now covering college basketball and the SEC, to be specific, at the Clutch Points app. We got one more segment to close out halftime today, and it is Get Off My Lawn. So if you got anything you want off your lawn, 877-377-6963, or maybe it's just, rake my lawn this time of the year because nobody's mowing anything, but get all those darn leaves off of my lawn. That was my least favorite thing about homeowning, was all the stupid leaves, or feeling forced to pay somebody $200 a month to come do this that you could do yourself, but it's going to take you an entire Saturday to pull it off.
You can make a pretty penny on picking up leaves, Phil.
Or you can just, get them stuck in your nose to the point where you can't stop sneezing for another 2 weeks. We'll close up shop with a cherry on the top and Get Off My Lawn next.
What's your name? What's your sign?
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Tell me this, do you kiss on the first date?
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. Get amazing fast fiber internet, 100 megabits for only $49.95 per month, or 1 gigabit for only $79.95 per month. TV packages from the basics to our amazing Altered TV, starting at $32.95. Fiber phone services start at $29.95. Go to waveruralconnect.com to find out if we are installing in your area, or call 1-833-4-WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code, Football Edition. This is how you say, game tonight. Bring Bud Light. Fantasy fees are due. That's it for today.
Brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light, crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Are you looking for a new place to call home? Whether you're looking for an apartment, duplex, townhome, or a house, Trinity Multifamily has you covered. They even have options in surrounding states, from Texas to Michigan and Kansas to Tennessee. If you're looking for a new place to call home, make Trinity Multifamily your first call at 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
I think you love that car more than you love me.
Oh, how can you say that?
You hand wash it, you hand wax it, you listen to the same music.
Pure coincidence.
I just hope your insurance company feels the same way about it as you do.
They do. I'm one happy camper.
Maybe that's the reason so many people come to Shelter for their car insurance. We have great agents who are nuts about cars. We're competitively priced, and our claims people are fast, fair, and friendly. To find an agent near you, go to shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Ask Shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review.
The second location for Whole Hog Cafe in Fort Smith is now open, located on the east side of town on Phoenix Avenue next to Dollar General and across from Interstate Batteries. Serving that award-winning Memphis-style barbecue and all your favorite sides Monday through Saturday, 11 till 8. Pickup orders for Whole Hog Cafe Phoenix Avenue can be placed at 646-2495 or at wholehogfortsmith.com. Whole Hog Cafe's second location on Phoenix Avenue is now open.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources. Fall is my favorite time of the year. Football, fine weather, and my chance to flip the lot. We're out to sell every single car in our Rath Road Ready inventory and flip the lot during our fall clearance. That's right, every vehicle must go. To make it happen, we're discounting our entire inventory with savings up to $4,300 below retail. Even our special purchase vehicles are included, like 2018 Hyundai Elantra SELs for only $13,991. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with buy 3, get 1 free on all tires and 50% off brake pads. Don't miss out on the savings. Help us flip the lot. Get the Rath Road Ready vehicle that's perfect for you and save up to $4,300 during the fall clearance at Arkansas's #1 rated and reviewed independent dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price affects trade allowance.
Hey dads, do you have an athlete in your house that is looking to take their skills to the next level? Excel Speed Training at the Fort Smith Athletic Club has the proven results to maximize your athlete's potential. Designed for both male and female athletes of all ages and various sports to improve mobility, endurance, agility, and vertical jump. Take your game to the next level with Excel Speed Training. Call Mike Johnson at 479-926-0193. That's Mike at 479-926-0193 at the Fort Smith Athletic Club.
ESPN 95.3. Touchdown! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Baseline, spits it out to Stewart. Right side, Thurman. He's open for three. Good! Scotty Thurman with his third three. Went to McDaniel. Arkansas wins the national championship. The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season.
Cherry on the top of halftime. If you got something that you want off your lawn, 877-377-6963, our Cherokee Casino hotline. We'll take your GOMLs, your GOMLs, either on a phone call or a text. Before we get to that, though, I guess you can take Derek Mason off the hot seat, Ty, because new athletic director at Vanderbilt, Malcolm Turner, tweeted a couple of hours ago that Derek Mason will be our head football coach moving forward. He said, I want to make it very clear that Derek Mason will be our head football coach moving forward. Full support, committed to working with them, blah, 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 blah. Robust athletic strategic plan, vision to put the football program in varsity sports in a position to win on and off the field of play, and a little more blah, blah, blah after that. So, I mean, it looks like Derek Mason will stick at Vanderbilt. And to me, that leaves two coaches left that might be searching for another job once the season is done. You asked about Will Muschamp. I think Monday with with Connor O'Gara. I think that could be legitimate, even with a win over Georgia this year. They have really struggled of late. And
I think they're 1-4 since that win. I think that's what
you're
Connor
right.
said. Yeah.
The other one to me, which just it almost seems to me like this is going to happen. Hot seat or just no seat, Joe Moorhead at Mississippi State.
Yeah, that guy just sometimes fit is in terms of proximity to where you're from, just how you relate with people and stuff. That's a big deal for some. It's not a big deal for other. People are under the impression that he's more of a Northeast guy. That's why he's been linked to the Rutgers job. It just doesn't seem like a good fit in Starkville. Then again, I point to the fact that Dan Mullen, I think it really shows the prowess of his head coaching ability, the fact that he was able to do what he did in Starkville, get to that team #1 in the country at one point. And I think it's a lot harder to win at Starkville than people realize. Like, Arkansas and Mississippi State are on different trends. Not that they're not both having unsuccessful years in their fans' eyes, but if you look at what Mississippi State has been in the Southeastern Conference, it's a bottom feeder. Like, they traditionally have not been the better of the two Mississippi schools and traditionally been one of the worst teams in the SEC West. Arkansas, while they haven't been exactly the most competitive in the SEC, their history points to Southwest Conference titles, winning bowl games, and being pretty productive in the conferences they've been in. SEC, not so much, but it's now the perception of these two schools, which Arkansas obviously looking for a head coach right now. Mississippi State could be looking for one in the future, regardless if Moorhead's fired or if he chooses to go elsewhere. So it's going to be curious to see what happens, not only in Starkville, potentially in Oxford with Matt Luke. You pointed out Will Muschamp. And Derek Mason, obviously, getting into the year. Gus Malzahn, Auburn. There's just coaching. There's always the potential of coaching a revolving door in the SEC because of how much pressure-packed involved coaching in this conference is, Phil.
Be a while since you saw something like 2018, where it was 5 for 6 different coaches came in. That was something else. Drew and Harrison makes a good point. Barry Odom in Missouri, he might be burning as well. I mean, they had high expectations. I mean, legitimate high expectations at Missouri this year, even with a potential bowl ban, which I think they haven't had their request on reconsideration of that bowl ban. I think necessarily we haven't heard anything about it in a long time. But I mean, they've lost 4 in a row, can't score anything. I wonder if Odom really is on the hot seat. But with the way they've played the last 4 weeks, whatever cachet he had might be melting away a little bit. Otherwise, we got another text, but I can't read it until we start Get Off My Lawn.
Get off my lawn.
Listen, old man.
Do not your what? Announce my presence with authority.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
The old man.
Get Off My Lawn, presented by Breeden RV and Power Sports.
Holidays can be stressful. Breeden RV will help you take that stress away with a new or used RV. They'll make it easy by letting you pick your deal. Get your choice of either sales tax paid, no payments for 6 months, holiday cashback, or more for your trade. The deal that works for you works for Breeden RV and Power Sports. And, of course, every new RV comes with Breeden's exclusive free maintenance for life. Breeden RV Power Sports on Alma Highway in Van Buren. You can also go to BreedenRVs.com for more information. 877-377-6963. Cherokee Casino Hotline for your Get Off My Lawn. Ross in Paris says, Christmas trees up before Thanksgiving, get off my yard. Maybe he might have one of those Xeriscape yards that doesn't have a lawn on it. Ty, you heard of the Xeriscape? You know what I'm talking about?
What is that?
The Xeriscape, now in Arizona, as I understand, you're not allowed to have a front lawn. You know, it's the desert. Water is a pretty precious resource and very scarce. So you're not allowed to have a lawn. And when the major drought happened in Southern California, people couldn't water their lawn. So they went with a new, I don't know how new it is anymore, but an invention called the Xeriscape, which is no grass. It's either rocks or sand and sculptures and cacti. So that's a Xeriscape. I don't think you see a lot of those in Arkansas. You see a lot of those out west in the Southwest.
Yeah, I've never heard of that at all.
Get off my Xeriscape. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
It really doesn't work quite as well. All right, so I guess I'll start here, and I keep previewing this. I keep teasing the thought that Ty tried to steal a pick from me from our picks over the weekend. This wasn't the Get Off My Lawn I planned, but I'll go with this for the time being. Look, Ty's going to win, at least in the regular season. We'll have bowl picks December and January. That will get into the picks. But right now, even with me having a better weekend than Ty did, he's up 38-25 against me. The reason that I had a better weekend than Ty is because I hit my money ball and he didn't. My money ball was Oregon State at home, 2.5-point underdog against Arizona State. So, you know, and if you followed us for the last few weeks, I've been heavy on Oregon State because Jonathan Smith, their second-year head coach, has turned this program around. They were 3-21 in the previous 2 seasons, and in the last 5 years before this year, Oregon State had gone 14-46. They're now 5-5 after beating Arizona State. They have Washington State and Oregon left on the schedule, so they're not going to beat Oregon, but they could beat Wazoo, and they'll be playing for their first bowl game since 2013. So they won, and they were a home underdog. Ty had an L on our picks, on our rundown for Monday. I know he says it's incidental. He thought that I chose Arizona State, or either that or did you think Arizona State won? I don't remember what your reason/excuse was. Ty tried to steal a point from me. Get off my lawn.
So I guess my get off my lawn is the fact that you're complaining about this, and I'm still up by 13 points in our standings so far. Again, we'll do the bowl games. We'll do more college football as we get down the stretch of this season. But you're complaining about 2 whole points when, again, I'm up by 13 right now in our standings. So you can be petty about this all you want, Phil, and I know we're just joking about this, but my thing is this is the only one I've messed up all year, and it was incidental, like knock on wood. I don't know what I have to do to prove myself. I guess I could take
You built up some cachet of trust with me over these last 14 months. I think I can let this one slide, but only this once.
Take a polygraph test to prove my loyalty that this incident. If you want to keep score the rest of the way, you're more than welcome to.
No, I like that you have to put in the effort instead of me.
Okay.
I'm trying to do this show with the least amount of effort possible.
So did you see the check story about Michael Jordan in his days at North Carolina? This will be my real get off my lawn.
No.
All right. So this guy lost $5 to Michael Jordan in a bet where Michael Jordan hustled him on the pool table. And the guy who wrote out the check, he wrote it out to Mike Jordan, wrote it for $5.
Mike Jordan.
Jordan signed it and cashed it, so the guy still has the check. And now he's going to auction it out years later. And according to Golden, I guess that's a signature authentication site, the signature has been authenticated. So this is a true Michael Jordan signature on this check. Again,
on a $5 check.
In his North Carolina days. I'm wondering how much that's worth, but to me, I wouldn't put a monetary value on that. You know my love for Michael Jordan. If that was me, I would 100% keep that check and frame it and have it as one of my prized possessions. I just think that's too cool of a story to just pass up. Unless, I mean, how much do you think a Michael Jordan autograph is worth on a check like that? It's back in the 80s. Again, this was
good question.
A bet
you want to treat this check the way Ricky Henderson treated his $1 million bonus. Remember the story we read about that? He framed the $1 million check.
That's wild.
And the accountants with the A's came to find him, saying, we've got $1 million outstanding in our bank account. It's one of my favorite all-time stories, and Ricky had tons of them.
I can't imagine it. And it's kind of like Ty and Caddyshack, where she's like, oh, here's a uncashed check for what she say, $75,000, and he was like, keep it. I can't imagine having that type of wealth to be so nonchalant with either giving it up or just keeping it for a keepsake. But in this case, Phil, I feel like I would have to keep it just for myself, unless it was worth. I mean, how much do you think it's worth? I know we're coming up on the end of the program. I mean, it's just a signature on a check.
I mean, is this going to get you at least 5 figures?
The minimum, it says the minimum on the check is $1,000 bid.
Wow.
So
I don't know what dollar figure I'd put on that, but again, that's nothing I would try to sell. It says Mike Jordan. When's the last time he signed Mike Jordan?
Yeah, that's my thing. So
JT in Hot Springs says, I sounded like the fan that blames the official for not calling holding on one play in a 42-6 loss. Hey, JT, no victory laps yet. We still have 2 weeks, and we still have the bowls. We still have prop bets for the football championship game. There's still a chance.
You're just adding bets, aren't you?
So you're saying there's a chance. There is a good chance of Arkansas basketball on ESPN later tonight. Stay tuned at 6:30.
We wish you happy holidays from